Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome to our Leo reading. This is going to be for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided to readings now, and I thank you for paying attention to your intuition. When it happens to you, then you understand. And what I mean by that is like the video comes across, and sometimes because of the length of the video, people may scroll past it, but then something calls you back. That's your spirit guides. That's your intuition. That's how they reach you through your intuition, plus many other ways. But I do read through my guides, so I just love how they work. They connect with your guides. They know who's going to be here. Um, some of you may be in love with a Leo. I have a lot of Leo love in my life, platonically, romantically. Mine's all platonic. My mother, who was August 5th. My son was August 12th. My soul sister, Diane, is August 16th. And Sam is right on that cusp. He is a Virgo, but he's on the cusp on the 23rd of Leo and Virgo. And I have to say, I do see Leo tendencies within him. So I do feel he does carry both. um, so anyways, guys, we are doing this for February 2025. Then remember, time is fluid. So again, whenever a reading reaches you or you come across it, to me, that's just divine timing. And that's energy. That's how I feel like it all works. We are going to use a few different decks. Mother Mary for her beautiful words of wisdom. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. I brought out the Romance Angels for any love that shows up. And we are going to use the Major Arcanas. We use these for like bullet points. So I have to say, I usually shoot for like 3 to 4. Sometimes I'm getting a lot more for this month. But I usually don't refuse cards. I trust my own intuition. But I have like certain, I don't know if I should say rules, but like when I speak with my guides, um, certain things that, um, I don't even know how to tell you. It's just that things, like how I talk to my guides and how I want to do a reading. And then I just literally become an open vessel for you. By the way, if you hear me saying I or me in your reading, it's literally because right now I'm a Leo. I am a Virgo. So I am your neighbor. But today, in this reading, I am you. Um, we are going to use the Tarot Dreams for your main spread. And let's go ahead and open this reading. Let me grab a drink of coffee. I would take just a moment or two and just try to clear your mind. You can do that with a little bit of deep breathing, inhaling through the nose. Hold it for like 4 seconds, and then exhale. Make sure when you're inhaling, it's through the belly and the lungs. And then exhale any worry. Give it to divine. One more shuffle. Also, feel free to ask your spirit guides to give you signs of confirmation. Sometimes the reading is your sign, but you can certainly um, ask them to help you just know, if the reading or certain messages are for you. I was just going to say something. I don't know. If it comes back, then it was meant to come back. All right. Well, we open up your reading with caring. Heaven cares for me, and I keep my heart open to caring about myself, others, and the world. See if anything else wants to come out. Heaven cares for me. I keep my heart open to caring about myself. And don't forget, yourself is first, others, and the world. Okay, quite a few. All right, let's start with Jesus. I pray for Jesus' help and guidance with this situation. Okay, we have compassion. I see and feel others' points of view with forgiveness and kindness. For some of you, this could be part of an answered prayer, could be asking you to take, certain human action, maybe to bring something about. I feel like forgiveness, especially coming out next to Jesus, it's a big, it's something we really do have to learn to do. Because otherwise we just carry the weight of it. It's like we can never move on from it. It's always part of us. So being able to, and I know some of you are going to be like, well, somebody doesn't deserve it. Well, Jesus would tell you everybody deserves it. Um, but again, it's not about like picking up a phone and you don't even have to say those words. Again, maybe hand it over to divine, like, I do forgive. And now I ask that you help me to let go of it. Mother, mother. Interesting because I just did cancers and they got father, and you have mother. I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. And then last but not least, one of my favorite cards, watched over. Really, it's one of my favorite messages. I allow myself to feel safe and enjoy my life, knowing that heaven is watching over me and my loved ones. Being watched over. You're always, this is without end. Like no beginning, no end to that energy. And I want to remind you, like before you even came into this lifetime, um, you already had a spiritual team assigned to you, and that is spirit guides, angels, archangels, ascended masters, certainly Jesus, God. Um, but then, understanding there was a reason why this team was set up for you, and it was to help you on this physical plane because, we are spiritual beings, and then we're born a woman. Um, and a lot, we're born with amnesia at the same time. And that's part of what the soul's adventure is. What can I do in this lifetime? What karma do I need to pay off? Everything that you overcome, it makes you a little stronger. It puts courage within you. So think, when you can think of it in that way, like, okay, I've had some difficult situations, and sometimes there is nothing left to do but try to get over it. Some of you may have a mother who is part of your spiritual team, especially coming right next to watched over, mother or a mother figure. Again, they may not have had a perfect life. Um, they may not have done everything right. But I get this feeling that I did try my best. And maybe that was still not quite good enough, so to speak. But I feel like there's real understanding. So if you had a mother or a mother figure, um, who had certain elements that may have hurt you, I just feel like forgiveness is a big part of that, and compassion. So compassion and watched over is around mother. Definitely feel like this mother is in heaven, surrounded by beauty, light, healing. So if your mother had any issues or mother figure, and I say mother figure because some people were raised by their grandmother, some people their big sister, like my big sister, um, had a great influence in my life, but also like well, we grew up back in the '60s and the '70s, so um, she introduced me to a lot of things too. But it was fun. I'm just not gonna lie, it was fun. So anyways, and speaking of my sister, that reminds me of how she told me one time that she would never forgive our mother. And I remember saying to her, you have to find a way because you don't want to keep carrying this anger with you. So, anyways, we'll see. The reading will definitely let us know more. But let's slide this over to the side. And by the way, well, I don't even need the top card. I do have the clarifying love situation out, so I may go to them. We'll see. Um, I haven't used this deck that often, so a lot of you may not be familiar with it. So there's two messages on a card, and depending on which direction it comes out, will be your message. Let's see what I pulled. Storms of love. Conflict is an opportunity for growth and change. Mm. Storms of love. Okay. I'm going to bring the lid down and let's go ahead and bring in major arcanas. Let me grab one final drink. I don't know about the rest of you. Um, it is not even that my energy feels low. It just feels like I cannot get enough coffee. Do you know why? All right, let's give them a shuffle. Don't know why, but I know I love you. And that should be. Trying to think who sang that song. I feel like it was Lionel Richie and someone else. All right. Better not take long at all. All right, let's start with the tower. But don't freak out because it is the first card. So, and I feel like anytime we see a tower, chances are it's already happened. So, some type of a tower. This may be what some of you have been praying about. Hello, lovers. Card of Gemini. Meaning of this card is a head over heart decision, but it's chemistry. Cupid has an influence here. Love. Cupid's got that arrow in his hand. Is he going to use it? She. We have, the magician. By the way, the magician looking right over at the lovers. Right over. This is the manifester. The magician is the one who reminds the fool that any new adventure, and because we have a tower, that means there is some type of new start. Clearly, I may not have asked for the tower, but look what the tower, after the tower, look what it produces. The lovers with the magician looking right at them. The magician is a reminder that you possess all the tools you need to truly be successful. however you measure success on this new journey. And I feel like because it's the magician, it does feel new, even if I already knew who, if I have someone in mind, or if someone has you in mind. We have the moon. So there's your ruler. And we just had a full moon in your sign. And then look at this beautiful temperance. First of all, card is Sagittarius. But this, temperance has a few different messages. The first message is patience. And it's so whatever is meant to be can come to full fruition. I often feel that she is making sure that these two cups that she's holding are equally filled. Kind of relate that back to soulmates. And then it's about divine timing. Well, it's about trusting in divine timing. And to me, because temperance is here, I feel like some of you were saying when, and temperance is saying be patient, be patient, be patient. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Why am I repeating things? Why am I repeating things? I should say the moon is also a card of Pisces, but it is your ruler. And it almost feels like you're using that energy to your benefit. Have these lovers been together before? Well, because temperance is here, that would, to me, represent a soulmate. So they know each other. And I mean that on like an eternal basis. Like we know each other. Maybe we even plan to come together in this lifetime, but at a certain time. I often feel that soulmates, because I do feel like we're talking about soulmates. Um, but the soulmate, because we have more than one soulmate. Some of us have a karmic soulmate, and that was the opportunity to pay off karma and to pay it off forever. And I do mean forever and potentially generations to follow. It's almost like breaking a curse. That can feel like a lot of pressure on you, or maybe it did feel like a lot of pressure, but in the same breath, once you've learned that lesson, you don't repeat it. You don't have to repeat it. Now, until you learn that lesson, you may repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. But I don't feel you're in that energy because the magician's right in the middle. And, the magician's all about energy and power and the ability to manifest, and you need to think about like, what energy are you using to manifest? Is it positive energy? Is it fear? A fear-based energy? Because remember, with the magician right in the middle, whatever I'm manifesting, and if I'm manifesting from more of like a positive viewpoint, then that's what the universe must meet. And I feel like that's what temperance is saying. Like maybe for some of you, it's like, yes, I want this. I want the lovers to come together. And I feel like temperance is just like, can you match that energy? Is your heart open? Are you able to give love as well as receive love? These may be some of the questions you're asking yourself. Because remember, the lovers, it is about a head over heart decision. Do I follow my head? Do I follow my heart? feel like the magician wants you to do something, though. So let's go ahead and bring in the tarot of dreams. And let's go deeper. You know, the moon can talk about a few different things. It can certainly talk about uncertainties. And maybe that's the answer right now. Like, all of a sudden I'm imagining, like when I grew up, we had what was called a magic 8 ball. And you would ask it a question, shake it, and then it would bring up an answer. Um, and I feel like that's what I'm doing, and it's saying the answer is unclear. Oh, okay. We have the Palace of Swords. Look at this, the Magician again now, right under the Lovers. Interesting, the Magician or the Lovers has the Magician on one side, and now the Magician below. Interesting, guys. 8 of Cups under the Magician, but also beside the Magician. So it's interesting because I'm wondering if these lovers are sharing separately the same type of energy. 8 of Cups means that, first of all, it's an 8, so it's asking you to allow yourself to have a new beginning. It is finding emotional clarity in the 8 of Cups. And often you'll see that this person has found it and now they're moving on. I feel like anything in between, like, I'm moving on here, I'm heading towards the 9 of Cups. It is change. It can feel, a little uncomfortable, but that's very, very temporary. What you're heading towards is truly inner harmony. And the 9 of Cups can talk about fulfillment of wishes. And this person's heading that direction. This may be what Temperance was waiting for. Maybe there were some loose ends, like emotional loose ends with someone, and now they're tying them up, so to speak. And then that 8, which to me is the number of infinity, not just to me, it is the number of infinity. As above, so below, no beginning, no end. That would totally fit with soulmate energy. And I'm not trying to make this a love reading, but that's what the magician is focusing on. You know, it's interesting because we have two magicians who are sharing the lovers and also sharing the 8 of Cups. We have Temperance asking us to just trust in divine timing, knowing that when something comes together, it will be the right time. You know, it could talk about maybe two people in the lover's energy, both were walking away from some type of an emotional situation. And I feel like Temperance is saying it was important that each have their own emotional clarity about their own past and then letting it go. That could also be what Temperance is waiting on. Some of you may have gone through a tower type moment. And maybe that's also where forgiveness comes in. Now, would Temperance be waiting for you to forgive? I won't leave it off the table. It could be a potential. Because again, with the 8 of Cups, it means that you're finding it, well, you're leaving that energy. So it means that you found emotional clarity. Though I don't feel like everyone is quite there yet. But I do feel like you're on your way. This person, I just noticed this, like they're clearing or climbing a staircase. It's like they're going to a higher dimension. Hmm. Okay. Let's keep going. I feel like that tower had something to do with communication that was not good. Like using words as a weapon. And words can hurt, words can stick, but you can also clear it. Because sometimes you have to look at where the source was coming from. If someone's trying to tell me, you know, you should do this or you shouldn't do that or this or that. It's about trusting within your own intuition of whether you should do something. So if someone, because I do feel like somewhere along the line, you dealt with someone where it does feel like communication was quite an issue. Um, and it could then turn into no communication. Hmm. All right. Well, we have the world, the next chapter. And we kind of already entered into the next chapter, but I feel like for what it's talking about for you is potentially something, because I feel when the world shows that it's talking about some things or people who will be in your life for the rest of your life. This is a very spiritual energy also. Look right in the middle of this portal. It's the foal. So it is about a new beginning. But this is when your spirituality feels strong. You're trusting your intuition more and more. You definitely found this emotional clarity. And I feel like that's what opens up this next chapter for you. The foal being in this portal, the magician is the foal's first mentor along this new journey. And again, the magician reminds the fool you already possess what you need to be successful, and that is wisdom. The fool has let go of the past, the fool has let go of the tower, and is ready for this new beginning, a fresh new beginning, it feels like. Because again, it feels like you are finding emotional clarity, or you've already found it. I also like that the world's coming right under your ruler. And it may even talk about like just trusting the process, trusting, like if you're doing your part, then divine's going to do their part. Okay, we have a few. We have the high priestess, your intuition. I bet it's on fire now. And then temperance saying, this is how I'll let you know. This is how you'll know it's go time in a way. Through your intuition, through those feelings. If it's talking about love in any way, if it's talking about the lovers coming together, then again, it's going to be really important to trust your intuition because I do feel like, again, I had to find this emotional clarity because I feel like if I don't, then I don't live a happy life. But if I can find that emotional clarity, take away the sting of it, and at least give myself an opportunity. In the world's energy, you just literally need to take a step in. But it does feel like it's important that, as you step into this next chapter, that you think about the fool's energy, who is free and clear. And I kind of feel that there could be two people who are becoming free from whatever. I want to say like from other relationships, and that may be. But I just want to use the word they're becoming free. And then I love, again, if this is speaking of love, that temperance is the one who is really controlling that. And what I mean by that is she's going to make sure that both these cups, again, are equally filled. Because what would be the sense? That would just bring you unbalance if one is full and one is half full. I also like this energy because I feel like this isn't talking about someone like, I'm gonna have to fix. I feel like those days are over, you know? It's not that you wouldn't help, like, happily help if you knew or you know that it's gonna give them a hand up, right? That it's gonna help them to evolve. But I feel like the days of just giving, now you're being much more, you know who deserves it and who doesn't. Let's just put it that way. But I also love temperance, really involved. It does feel like in your love life. But let's not just say love life because with the world energy coming in, I also feel it's really when your spirituality is, I want to say on fire. But some of you may just you may have just started like understanding like how energy works. Um, Realizing that you're a spiritual being having human experiences. When we remember that alone, that can take away a lot of the sting of life. Okay, so my soul came here. It did want to learn, it did want to evolve. That is why we came here. We don't have to evolve, we don't have to do anything, but then I don't know. I feel like then it kind of sets, it's like then we're setting up our next life if we so choose, where, okay, eventually we're going to have to deal with these things, whether it's in this lifetime or next. Okay, 10 of swords. So that's probably why I was feeling that, this tower, I feel like even though I know it may not have been easy for you, I want you to understand that what it's showing is the pain that it caused before the tower even happened, before the ending. This can talk about a repeat pattern of you taking dagger after dagger in your back. Some of you may have had a repeat pattern with someone, but Leo, I don't feel you would, though this is taking it the whole way in the Ten of Swords. To me, this does become submissive type energy. It's almost like telling the universe, you know, I expect bad things to happen, and I'll be damned they do. Well, that I feel like is why the magician is here. Not just to teach the fool, but, well, you are the fool. We are the fool. Anytime we're starting anything new, we're starting from the fool's energy, fresh and clear, fresh new beginning. So, in a way, whether you realize this yet or not, the day will come where I feel like you're going to be thankful. That tower, you're going to be thankful whether you're the one who decided to give it to another, or even if someone gave it to you. Look what they were causing anyway. That's not good. And then we have your major arcana, the strength card. This is about, this is a deep dive within. This is one finding their own emotional clarity, looking within myself. What is it that I need to work on? Sometimes it's just literally overcoming, but many times, it's like the beast within. But finding that balance, that's really what temperance wants. She wants both the soulmates in a balanced state. Doesn't mean perfect, it just means balanced. This is definitely awareness of, you know, I don't want to say a weakness because, hmm, maybe it's something your soul chose to see if it could overcome, but it's showing you overcoming it. Forgot what I was holding. Oh, your major arcana. A lot of times you'll see this person as half lion, half human, and it really signifies the courage that it took to do this work, to understand oneself. We have to know who we are, the good, the bad, the ugly. But this is you saying, okay, and some of the energy may have been outside of your control, but you still have control as do I stay or do I go? Do I take it or do I not? You know what I mean? Like that will be up to you. Or maybe already was. I'm hoping that this is energy that's already been moved on, though I do know some of you may still be in it. Um, and I feel like, especially with temperance being the one who's making sure that these cups are equally filled, that's divine energy. First of all, we can't hide, anything from divine. We can't even hide anything from ourselves in the strength card, but that's what we want to know. We want to know ourselves. And I feel also, again, that courage that you gain from that speaks volumes. And it's something you will never lose. Remember that. Now I'm noticing these two eights that are around the magician. So again, could be two new beginnings. Just feels that way. Like we're switching houses from the Palace of Swords to the Palace of Wands. Well, this is passionate. This is action oriented. I love this energy. If you're working from home and following your passion, it's quite beautiful, actually. I feel like you're kind of changing houses. Now, literally changing houses? Maybe not literally, or maybe yes, for some of you. Because for some of you, I do feel like you are changing houses. But it feels like a very good thing because the magician is manifesting this Palace of Wands. Not only manifesting the lovers, right? But then, like, the ultimate place to be together. And, the Palace of Wands is energy you should feel very comfortable in. We have the Ten of Pentacles, beautiful, under the world. Beautiful. That is great energy. How I just said for, and you don't have to be working from the home. But I do see like that would be great energy if you are. Like I feel like you will become very abundant. You may not see the fruits of your labor yet, but this is signifying that you will. Ten of Pentacles to me is a house, it's a house of abundance. It's a house that takes root. And it makes sense following the world or under the world because I feel like it's something that even outlasts me. So it can turn into like a family business. But the bottom line is this is abundance. This is an abundant house. I okay, so we have the Seven of Swords, but I'm going to tell you, don't freak out because it's mirroring that Ten of Swords. So here's our issue. Here's our solution. But here's the issue. So, where I felt like someone's communication was not good, now I know that the communication probably wasn't even truthful. You know, um, I often feel like and I hate to say this all the time, but I feel like the person in the Seven of Swords or the energy, it's untrustworthy energy. They call it the thief in the night. This is someone that takes more than their fair share. And you can tell, like, he's trying to sneak those swords out, right? He doesn't need all of them, but he's going to take them nonetheless. Mirrored by the Ten of Swords. So you took the brunt of this person's energy. And it is a lower vibrational energy. And do I feel like this is what Temperance is talking about as it relates to divine timing? I feel like for quite a few, you've already dealt with this. And now you know, right? Again, this could have been a repeat pattern with someone, but it probably just kept ending up in a tower. Or you kept taking the daggers in your back. Strength card right next to it. I don't feel like anymore. And the Eight of Cups, the walking away from that without carrying their energy along. You know, could have been a karmic lesson, maybe. And if it is, I feel like one of the main lessons was to claim your own power. Yet in the same breath, I feel like trying to have an open discussion with this person, I feel like it would just, it would just turn back to them again. Like, why is everything always about you? That's kind of what I feel with this person. Like, it's always about them. And by the way, with the Ten of Pentacles right next to that, why would you want to share your abundance with them? You can. They will take advantage of it. I could see this person, like, let's say, because you can still build abundance for yourself, even if you're in this type of energy. But this is the type of person where I feel like, as like your paycheck comes in, they're like, oh, can I have 20 bucks? Can I have 50 bucks? And who knows what they use it on? Not for anything good. And it's yours. So I don't even want to harp on this energy because I think it's very clear what it is. Um, I feel like it's very clear that, it's not serving your purpose as a soul. Though, in the same breath, again, you probably learned something pretty valuable from it. And I feel like for most of you, it's like, I'm just not taking the bullshit. Like, I'm learning how not to take the bullshit. Maybe I wanted it to turn out, but it just didn't. But maybe it wasn't meant to. How was it meant to? Especially with the magician around the lovers and temperance here. You know what I mean? Like, the difference of energy alone is night and day. We have the Six of Wands on the bottom of the deck. This is victory and success. In the Six of Wands, this is other people taking notice of you because of action steps that you've taken. You know, um, and other people may be asking you, like, how did you do it? How did you overcome this? How did you move on from it? Some of you that may be actually what you're doing for a living. Six of Wands in the Palace of Wands. Three of Wands underneath that, optimism. an optimistic lens. I feel like number one, don't listen to lower vibrational energy tell you that you're not good enough or you can't succeed or you can't create this abundance for yourself because they're wrong. It's showing it. You can create it for yourself. I feel like many of you are already on your way of creating it. And it probably does have a lot to do with like your past experiences. Because again, I feel like, I often feel in the Six of Wands, like I have a platform and people seek me out, you know, for your wisdom, but also it is because of the action steps that you've taken. So in a way, I feel like it does feel like you moved on from this Seven of Swords energy. And if you haven't, I just want to say, like, do I feel like this energy will just repeat and turn into a tower again? I do. I don't know how it could. Unless this person or this energy decides to evolve. But in the Seven of Swords, I often feel like that's someone who's more than happy to live in lower vibrational energy. Like, that's what I enjoy. Okay. Well, you go right ahead and enjoy it. But I'm going to go on my journey now. And so you do. All right, let's bring out the Gilded Tarot. But one more thing I want to say. Seven of Swords is mirroring Temperance, with the High Priestess in between. So definitely it's talking about divine also helping you, number one, to recognize the Seven of Swords energy, again, untrustworthy energy, and maybe number two, to do something about it. You know what I mean? Because our free will is our free will. And Temperance knows that. And I do feel like sometimes the universe is being patient on with us without judgment. When you had enough, you had enough. And I don't know, Leo. Like, I can't see you living in this energy of the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Swords long. The one thing I want to say is just be careful you don't get caught up in it. Like trying to fix this person or trying to explain to this person and they're wrong because they'll just tell you you're not. Or they'll just tell you that they're not wrong. Okay, enough talking about them. Let's not give them any more power. Oh, boy, do I love that. 10 swords in reverse. It's interesting because the minute I said, let's not give him any more power, the 10 of swords comes out in reverse. This is where those daggers are just dropping out. This tells you that this energy, though I may have given it a lot of time, I may have given it a lot of effort, it definitely didn't produce any fruit, and it definitely affected you. But look how quickly. It's like the minute you leave it or say no more, those swords just drop out of you. Now, we do have the sun in reverse. I don't love that. Um, but maybe I'm not meant to know everything right at this moment. The sun is your illuminator. And interesting in reverse, it's not really illuminating. Interesting also that your ruler is the sun, which is also masculine energy. We have feminine energy. I've been noticing that a lot lately. The feminine and masculine coming out in the same reading. So I feel like the sun in reverse is relating more to the strength card. And I also feel because it's coming over the magician, you know, I may be uncertain of, if I'm like actively manifesting, hopefully from an optimistic view, it can still be uncertain. But even with the sun in reverse, it's still a new day. And I feel like sometimes we're not meant to know everything because sometimes it's about the journey. Like let's not skip the journey. I feel like someone has taken your sunshine away. That sounds like a song. Someone has taken your sunshine away. Four of Wands. Interesting because it's coming over the Eight of Cups. So I do feel like this is signifying the walking away for someone. This can talk about a committed relationship, even a marriage. I mean, it is called the marriage card. Now, I do feel like this is someone walking away, but I do feel like this is going to come back around. So we'll see, but I feel that. The moon again. So the moon connected to the moon coming over the world. And that's what I'm feeling again, like the uncertainty. So it's also the promise of dreamy type energy. And sometimes I have to move forward even if I'm not 100% sure where it's going to land, right? But then the fool in the middle of the portal of the world, it's still like I'm going to step into it. Double Cancer on the board. We now have the Hierophant. Beautiful. First of all, it is card of Taurus. This is about your belief system. It does want you to question it because it is a five. There may be something that, a type of change. It is coming above the Seven of Swords. Someone certainly is not matching, I feel like, what is your truth, your belief, even your faith. What I do love is that it's also connected to temperance. So, if temperance is mixing up the loving waters of the soulmates, then we know it's coming in a high vibrational energy. But I do feel like this is number one questioning, am I living life according to my terms? Do I believe in God, in a higher realm? And if I do, then I know that I have the power over the Seven of Swords, over that type of energy. And coming over the High Priestess, if we remember, first of all, let me stop for a second because we see the Fool, right, in the portal of the next chapter. The Magician is the Fool's first mentor along this new journey. And the Fool, or the Magician, tells the Fool, don't be fearful. You possess everything you need, all the wisdom to really be successful. It's about enjoying this journey. And then the next mentor the Fool meets is the High Priestess. And here is the High Priestess right next to him. And the high priestess reminds the fool that I am your GPS. I am your guiding light. And then I love the Hierophant coming over that. But I feel like the Hierophant, especially mirrored by the Ten of Swords in reverse, first we have the Ten of Swords in the upright. So I feel like that's where the questioning came in. I feel like there's someone you just don't like what they do. Like it feels like it goes against the grain, like it goes against what you believe in, your truth. And this is about your truth. Okay. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Well, that kind of makes sense because the Ace of Pentacles, to me, is about a seed that's about to come to fruition. The Ace of Pentacles is the promise of something coming into your physical world. But because it's in reverse, it doesn't come. Now, it makes sense because it's coming over those swords that you're taking, those daggers that you've been taking in your back, and it's mirroring the Seven of Swords. So it makes sense. It's almost like divine is protecting you, right? Because if this ace came while you were still connected to this energy, do I feel like this ace would then turn go to that person's pocket? I do. Or whatever advantage it's giving you, I feel like it'll go right over to them. So it makes sense. I don't feel like it means that this is forever. It's just not coming in that energy. Why why would I want someone else to be able to take advantage of what's truly meant for me? I don't love all these reversals, but I have to say, I do love the Ten of Swords in reverse. I understand why the Ace of Pentacles is in reverse. And again, I don't feel like it's a forever type thing. We have the Nine of Swords over the Strength card, and then we have the Ten of Wands. Interesting. It's interesting because I feel like we're talking about two people here, two people who have gone through, different situations. And I feel like one of these lovers has gone or has dealt with someone who like they use their words as daggers. And I feel like the other lover is someone who tended to give everything, but probably didn't receive. The Nine of Swords coming before that, that's worry. But it really is unnecessary worry. Some of you may have stayed in this repeat pattern because maybe you think there isn't better out there. But this tells you the opposite of that. Because remember, that Nine of Swords is unnecessary worry. And you got to think of the source that it's coming from. So why do I have all this worry? I have a feeling for one of the lovers, it's because someone put you down and put you down. And again, their words may have stuck. But again, it's coming from a lower vibrational source. So if I can understand that, just because somebody says something about me doesn't make it true. That's their opinion. And I feel like their opinion is wrong. I feel like we're getting a lot of narcissistic type energy in our readings for February, but these are the energies that are leaving. And if we remember, we're in our universal year 9, it is the final push of cleaning up that house, cleaning out what no longer needs to stay, right? It's a signal to the universe that you're open to what's new. So, anyways, I feel like the other lover is definitely a giver. And I get a feeling that this person may have a family. You may have a family, but this person may have a family. And I feel that I may have stayed longer than I feel like the love probably died out. It did die out. I definitely feel it died out. But I feel the responsibilities is what held me in place. Could be someone who's waiting for their kids to get old enough. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to leave them when they're toddlers. Um, or I don't want to break the family up when they're still young. But I do feel like then comes a point where, like, I feel like they can't take anymore. You know, if you're in that situation, let me give you a viewpoint from a young girl. When my parents were together, they fought a lot. And I mean on the top of their lungs. And me, my brothers and sisters, we'd sit on the steps and just cry, just cry. And I know I've told this story before. Eventually, they did break up. And I remember, like, many, many years later, my dad saying to me, you know, I should have never left you kids. I should have stayed with you. And I said to him, Dad, it was the best thing you could do, even though I was a daddy's girl and I did not want him to go. Um, the fighting was too much for us. So he did carry that guilt, but yet, and that's kind of what I'm feeling about this person, like a guilt of wanting to live life happily. So, okay, let's keep going. And I feel like the Nine of Swords is also a little bit of like, there's no way I want to repeat what I've been through. But here's the thing. I feel like as you find this emotional clarity within yourself, then I feel you won't repeat it. You know, I feel like if you leave this energy, if you say no more, then I feel like you really mean it. And even the Ten of Swords would back that up, right? Because no more, and then immediately those swords come out. Isn't it interesting? Like, because we probably gave this person a lot of our time and effort, you know, hoping and wishing, but yet it doesn't turn out that way. And maybe we think that, you know, by leaving, you know, it's interesting because how am I going to get over this person? But yet at the same time, they're not treating you well. And it feels like you get over them immediately. At least you feel so much better because you don't have to listen to these untruths. I just feel like I could go on and on. All right, we have the Two of Swords. That is mental conflict. It is a blindfold. This can talk about a little bit of fear. Sometimes I feel like in the Two Swords, it's about what I don't want to face. Like I'm fearful of facing something. But the truth is, because I feel like the longer we wear that blindfold, the bigger the monster seems. And again, you could talk about the changing, right? Like no longer accepting it. But the uncertainties of what's next certainly tend to hold people in place. And yes, I do feel like you have to take a chance, but I feel like it's taking a chance on yourself. Um, my left ear is ringing like very loudly, and I don't normally get that. And it's funny when I was growing up, if your ears are ringing, if it was your right ear, is right for spite, left for love. Well, it's my left ear. Temperance. She's just waiting. She's just waiting. And I'm telling you, she's waiting because she's mirrored. It's being mirrored by temperance. Coming right over that Seven of Swords. It's almost like divine is saying, we know what you've been through. We know with what you've dealt with, but we also know what lies out there for you. And again, for some of you, it does feel like a karmic lesson. And I feel like sometimes the karmic lesson is simply knowing when to leave. It's like claiming your power back. You know, enough is enough. Enough is enough is enough is enough. And then I feel like this Ace of Pentacles comes in. So it's like temperance is also noticing this person's energy or the situational energy. It almost feels like they're creating karma, and not good karma. So if you are here to, let's say, clear some karma, I feel like you do. And I feel like this person is creating karma and what that means is, what I do to another eventually will be done to me. Well, Seven of Swords, what they did to you will eventually be done to them. But that feels like what's holding temperance in place. One doesn't fit with the other. It's really quite that simple. Like one energy doesn't fit with the other. And maybe you're someone who's very loyal to a fault. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's to a fault, but do I feel like this person, it reminds me of, sorry, I keep using my personal experiences, but I just want to give you an idea. It reminds me of like when I was married, I was very young. I got married when I was 19, and my then husband used to cheat on me all the time, to the point where I even asked him, like, why did you want to get married? Like, why didn't you just stay single? But I had many opportunities to also cheat. I had a lot of guys come to me and say, do you know this is what your husband's doing? You know? And then they would try to be with me, but I did turn them all down. And I feel like it's more because I'm a Virgo. I feel like I am loyal to a fault. But I didn't want that on me. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't want that energy. Maybe I knew I didn't want to create that karma even before I even understood my spirituality. So maybe that's how some of you feel. And temperance knows that. With temperance, who is divine energy, suggests that you be with someone else while you're still with this person. You know, I mean, it's not about judging you. It's about what would work out. Would it work out the way it was meant to work out? Chances not, because I feel like this person would find a way to ruin it anyway. So it feels like temperance is saying, like, this energy has to go to really open up what feels like your blessings, what feels like a true love. And I feel like both the lovers have these experiences. They are a little different, but yet both feel like they need to walk away, find this emotional clarity, not give up on love. It doesn't have to mean that I'm out actively looking for it, but because those swords drop out so clearly, and because I feel like you are saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to live life according to my terms now. That feels like a sign. Feels like that's what temperance was waiting on. All right. I'm going to go right in or I'm going to go, yeah, let's go in between. Let's go right in between. I mean, we're moving forward, but something is telling me to go in between the two. So we shall do that. We have the chariot. Well, this is your vehicle to leave. That is your vehicle. It's almost like you're jumping in your car and you're saying adios. The chariot is about also finding balance. And I do feel like that is one of temperance's major requests is that we find the balance within ourselves first and foremost. The chariot is the mixture of the feminine and the masculine, of the light and the dark, and we have all of that here. But this is also about remembering that it's your seeds or it's your intentions that move this chariot. You tell the chariot where to go. Right now, I feel like you're telling the chariot, get me the hell out of here. But I do feel like for some of you, it's like you jumping in your car and you're heading out. We now have triple Cancer on the board, double Leo. Got the card. There is the closing of the door. There is the transformation that Divine was asking for. Also a card of Scorpio, by the way. But this is transformation. This is you having transformation. And one of the main things that brings this to you, again, is a closing of a door. This is the type of door I would lock. I would never open that door again. I feel like some of you are just worrying about what is next. Look at this. Justice. Libra's major arcana. But we have the marriage card right there. Ten of Wands right below it. I feel like someone, if it's not a divorce, it's definitely a cutting of ties. And I do kind of find it interesting that I feel like both of what I feel will be soulmates who are going to be coming together eventually, let's say. Um, because they're both kind of, you're both sharing the justice card. Now, one could be because I do feel like this other lover may be leaving a marriage. Um, Yet, I want to say when you use the sword of justice, which is also a gift, what that does is it balances you. And I feel like that's really what divine is looking for is balance. You know, when you live an unbalanced life, it's very difficult. To me, it just means you're not living your truth. When justice shows up in a reading, it really is about making you whole again. But I feel like it's making two people whole again. So I feel like both the lovers in each of their own situations has to use this sword if they, if they so choose. But listen, one is dealing with the Ten of Swords, one is dealing with the Ten of Wands. It's almost like the energy has come to a place where it's undeniable that things will not get better. People are not going to change. Now, people can change, but I feel like who one person is dealing with and another person is dealing with, there is not going to be change. I just don't feel it. So I have to be the change. And so does this other person. They have to be the change within their life. The Hermit, card of Virgo. You're getting a lot of major arcanas, by the way. And that can definitely can represent changes. The Hermit, can talk about going through like a dark night of the soul. I can see that. It's here. I would say the Seven of Swords with the Ten of Swords, that's a dark night of the soul. I would say the Ten of Wands can certainly feel like a dark night of the soul. But the Hermit's really seeking wisdom, spiritual wisdom to use on this earthly plane. I feel like this also talks about natural healing abilities, but also doctor heal thyself. This is truly when your spirituality is opening. This is when that beacon of light is you're shining it outwardly. You have understanding, and maybe now you're helping others to have understanding. It's kind of like a spiritual awakening in a way. It's very spiritual. It is the wise old soul. So I feel like for these lovers, this is probably not their first time together. Though probably not in this lifetime, maybe, but right now I don't feel that. That lantern's also illuminating the Seven of Swords. So you can't hide. You can try, but you can't hide it from me anymore. It's like I see you evolving, definitely evolving. And, it's natural that we're going to run across energy that just is not going to serve us, that we have to learn, well, we're either going to let it be or we're going to not. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like you are here. You know, the Hermit is also a number 9, and we're in that year, not that universal year 9. And I do feel like a lot of people are going to have spiritual awakenings in this year. And, part of it being a spiritual awakening is your own truth. Like you can't deny the truth, nor should you. And I feel like nor do you want to. Listen, this lantern is illuminating that Seven of Swords. There's no way that this energy still fits with your energy. As we're moving along, it just doesn't fit. It didn't fit from the get-go. But I definitely feel both the lovers tried in their own situations, but ultimately comes to the conclusion that nothing is going to change. So the change that has to happen has to come through me. With the hermit now showing, I feel like that blindfold is off. And maybe that's what I didn't want to face. Maybe I didn't want to face that someone, you know, this can represent cheating. Doesn't have to, but it's just untrustworthy, period. And, maybe they had your heart, and that is hard to face. But boy, do I feel like it serves you to face the truth and then use the wisdom of the hermit to allow the energy that's no longer fitting within your energy to fade away. Or use that sword and cut those ties once and for all. Ace of Swords. Well, that is your truth. That, my friend, is your truth. It's almost like now you got something to say. And what I'm saying is bye bye. Jumping in my car and I'm heading out. I also love the Ace of Swords coming under the Hierophant and the High Priestess. And it's like Temperance is saying to you, like this, the person you're with, that's not your true love. It just isn't it's not the love that your soul. Well, let me put it a different way because I feel like our souls, when we come into this lifetime, and again, remembering that we're coming as spiritual beings and we're using this body as a vehicle. And we always have the ability to find like spiritual truth. But again, it's going within, it's putting your affirmations out there, it's trusting within your guides because they are here. Your truth. And I don't just mean that in words, I mean that in every part of your life. It feels now, well, I feel like many of you, if you're not already there, you're heading that way. And I do feel like the Ace of Swords coming over the Seven of Swords um, is also maybe you saying those final words. But listen, you're coming from a place of spirituality, so it doesn't have to be mean. I mean, it's whatever you want. I feel like it's simply, you know, best put when I think of Virgo, Virgos like to use the least amount of words, even though, I mean, I'm a Virgo and my readings are so long. But that's for you. But in my everyday life, I'm not someone who just talks and talks and talks. It kind of looks like that sword. So I want to do something now because I feel like we have evolved. We are cutting out what no longer fulfills us. We're cutting out those who do nothing but put us down. We're using the energy of that nine to make the final decisions of what's going to stay and what's going to go. But what I love is I feel you're doing it more through a spiritual lens now than an earthly lens. Like, and what I mean by that is the Nine of Swords. I feel like that's our humanness. It's our human mind. Because again, Temperance says you do not need all this worry, especially if you put it in divine's hands. What you really need to do is just close the door. And for those who are afraid of change, I feel like what you just need to ask yourself is, are you happy? Are you satisfied? Like, if this was going to be your life exactly where it is right now for the next 10 years, is that okay with you? Because it is up to you. But everything here is helping you, I feel, to bring you to, well, blessings. But these blessings are well earned. It's you closing this door. And I feel like then there's a blessing. It's you getting rid of this worry and then making a change. Here comes a blessing. This is you understanding your faith, your life, and living life according to your terms, but it's coming from the light. There's a blessing. So it's like creating good karma, where I feel like this person is creating bad karma, and you don't even need to worry about it because they'll have to deal with it, not you, because you're moving on. Okay. So, anyways, I was going to look at this Ace of Pentacles. It's in reversed at this moment, but coming over the Ten of Swords again makes sense. But let's look at it now from a point of view of you moving on. What does it do to this ace? So you jump in that vehicle of the chariot. You say no more. And listen, sometimes you don't need to say anything. You just leave. I've done that. I've done that a few times. I'm not claiming that's a good thing. I'm just claiming that's what I have done. I even told Sam that when we first got together. I said, I was going to tell you because I didn't know how it was going to turn out. Um, maybe I did this for my own protection, but I told him, I said, if things get bad, I'm not someone who, well, it's not that I wouldn't try to fix it if I felt it was worth it. But if I knew it wasn't, then I'm the type who would just jump in my car and leave. And I have done that a few times in my life without saying a word. Because I thought, what's the sense? Who I was leaving didn't deserve my words. That's what I felt. All right. Six of Wands. And then look at this, the World. So it does turn that Ace of Pentacles around. And the Ace of Pentacles means something coming into your physical world. Tangible. Potentially kissable. I keep hitting my watch on the table. I'm probably going to break it. Um, but look at that victory within the world's energy. And the world to me is, like I want to say the final chapter. But to me, it's the closest energy to God. I feel like the world energy is very spiritual. Doesn't mean I go around talking spiritual talk all the time. Just means that's where I live from. I live from my spirituality. And I could see some of you having a platform, again, where other people seek you out. This is also a year. There's a couple predictions I made. Um, and another one was spiritual awakenings. And another one, what was I just going to say? Oh, I felt like a lot of people building their own platforms, like beginning their own businesses. Could be starting a YouTube channel. Your voice, your experiences, that's what the people are seeking. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I feel like this is also the year of the healers. I don't feel like it. I know it. I feel like a lot of healers are going to be called into action. And if you have healing abilities, that's another reason why you may have felt the push to end really what truly feels like it needed to end anyway. Because you may be being called into action. And I feel like all you need to do is just follow your intuition. Trust in your own abilities. Trust that the things that you've overcome, there are other people who are still trying to overcome them. And it does feel like you can help if you choose. But this is success connected right to your next chapter. It's victory and success, with success being on the bottom of the deck, coming through an optimistic lens. Wow. Manifest through optimism and watch what comes back to you. The opposite of when you've been manifesting through fear. Put that right. Oh, if that was connected to the Ace of Pentacles. So we'll put that right there. And I'm still not done. I want to come up and I want to look at this Four of Wands because I do feel like this is the ending of a committed relationship or was it committed. But I feel like for two, but in different ways. But I did feel like it was going to come around again, because the magician's looking right at the lovers. So I feel like this commitment that once was is ending. But this is also about what I feel is going to be a new commitment. So let's just look at that. We have the Tower. Well, that makes sense. We have the Knight of Swords. Looking right at that Tower. Could certainly be communication coming in after the Tower. We have two Knights. Now we have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, something else I've been saying a lot in February's readings is I feel a lot of people are going to be like kind of swept off their feet. Knight of Wands definitely matches the lover's energy, which is chemistry, which is passionate. And I love it being connected to the Knight of Swords. Over here, this communication sucked. Over here, this communication is passionate, action-oriented. So it does tell you that even after this Tower, so we know that this Four of Wands, it's ending, right? But I kind of feel like this is the other lover. And then what begins after that Tower. So passionate communication. I want to follow that a little bit further though. The Nine of Pentacles. Another Virgo card, by the way, and I'm saying that because it's coming right over the Hermit. So some of you may be connected to Virgo, or you may have Virgo in your chart. I love the Nine of Pentacles because that really does talk about success. It's your success. The meaning of the card is successful self-employment. Right below is the Ten of Pentacles. Some of you, I feel like this is singular, but this is also very independent energy. This is where I can take care of me. I have a feeling that has a lot to do with this Ace of Pentacles also. But I also feel because this is independent energy and the Ten of Pentacles is right underneath it, that it turns into the Ten of Pentacles. So to me, it means that each of these lovers are able to stand on their own 2 feet. It means this isn't about like love coming in and I got to fix this person. No, this is someone who, first of all, has a lot of understanding of your experiences because they themselves, even though they're different, they're still similar. And I also feel that you don't have to worry that this is someone who like have to take care of financially because I feel like each can take care of themselves. Each has the wisdom of the hermit. And I feel like it then does move you into the Ten of Pentacles. Because in the Ten of Pentacles, you're usually not alone. And again, just how I explained it in the beginning, um, how this house truly takes root. That means whatever grows in it continues to grow. I often feel if this is about a love story, this is a love story that is talked about long after my love and I have left this world. It's the children and the grandchildren and the great grandchildren. It's like your story being told over and over again. Why? Well, I feel like it's the whole story. Like, look how strong grandma was. Look at the love that they found. It allows them to believe in love. Okay, still not done. The magician. So, the magician again. Now, let's manifest from the Nine of Pentacles energy. Completely different. In the Nine of Pentacles, it's not that I have to have love. I'm not someone like, oh, if I don't have love, then my life is not complete. Because in the Nine of Pentacles, you're doing something that you love. There is fulfillment within the Nine of Pentacles. It is you who reaps the benefits of the Nine of Pentacles. It's your hard work. But in a way, I feel like it's what you love to do. And it may be something that you hadn't done until you made these changes. So now the magician coming out over very independent energy. And when I say independent energy, it doesn't mean, that I won't invite love into my life. It just means I'm so much stronger than what I was. It means I can take care I'm not looking for someone to take care of me. I'm looking, and again, don't even feel like you're looking. But I feel like when it comes in, those are the kind of things you may say to yourself. Like, my life feels pretty good right now. And maybe that's why I feel like this person kind of sweeps you off your feet, or you sweep them off their feet. But it feels very natural at the same time. Like like their natural energy, your natural energy, no one wearing a blindfold, everyone being who they truly are. Um, there's no need to pretend that I'm someone that I'm not. Maybe here I had to, but that's not the case any longer. Okay, let's pick this up. And I want to bring out the romance angels. And I'm going to actually pick all this up. First of all, let's start with the clarifying love situation. And let's just get a couple cards on that. True. All right. Just going to take a couple. And then we're going to bring out the romance angels. Emptiness echoes. Emptiness echoes. In absence, feel the lonely spaces, yearning for a comforting presence. In absence, feel the lonely spaces, yearning for comfort, yearning for a comforting presence. There's your comfort. Healing mirage. See through illusions, navigate dangers, and find solace in therapy or guidance. Healing. Well, do we not get that from Mother Mary also? Okay. Let's bring in the romance angels. And what I'm really focusing on is the lovers. Leo, I always felt that you were a sign that can truly create abundance for yourself. I feel like you have many gifts. I feel you're very artistic. And I'm bringing this up before I take it the love, the romance angels, because I don't want you to overlook, um, first of all, the Nine of Pentacles, that can talk about starting a business. Many of you, I felt like, there is a platform where other people are seeking you out. And it does follow the natural energy of the universal year nine. Again, where we're clearing out the old, but we're inviting in the new. Um, so even your platforms, sometimes we don't understand that our probably most difficult experiences, but the ones that we've overcome. Um, and I feel like this is really part of our soul purpose is then to help others see, because I've been in this energy and I was in it for a while and there was no one who was going to save me. I had to save myself. And that meant I had to jump in my vehicle and I had to end it. And I ended up in it again. And I spent 5 years in that crappy energy. And again, nobody came to save me. I had to save myself. But I did. And Did I receive blessings because of that? Oh, I did. Did I do it for that? Because of that? No. I did it because I couldn't take anymore. I did it because I realized nobody was going to come in and save me, that it had to be me. And I had young children at the time. So that's kind of what the hermit talks about. Because in the hermit's energy, you really are seeking the light. But what you figure out in the hermit's energy is you are the light. That means that you can save yourself. You have that ability. And you're such a strong sign that it even surprises me that you got caught in someone's web for what feels like a long time. But, that's the human part. But I feel you're now listening to your intuition. And I feel like for a lot of you, your healing abilities, like you may not even know that you had them, and it may come through trial and error. Then again, I feel like people will seek you out for what it is you do. So trust in yourself. I often see, well, I know this from my own experiences, like my son's very artistic. Um, that guitar, the way it came to me over in the corner, like literally it moved mountains to find me. And I know it was from my son, who is a Leo and part of our spiritual team now. But what's my point? What's my point? I think my point is believe in magic. But know that, you also have to do your part. But really, what I was talking about is how I could really see you. I feel like Leo is meant to be successful. I just feel like you are. But I feel like you carry the gifts that can truly make you successful. You just have to trust them. And sometimes you don't even know you have those gifts until they're called into action. Kind of like the healers are being called into action this year. All right. So I don't want you to overlook like the abundance in this reading. Um, but I also don't want you to overlook where I feel, if I don't move out of the Ten of Swords, whatever abundance I have, there's going to be someone's like their hands are out. Express your love. Go ahead and make a romantic gesture. All right, so we're looking at the lovers. Maybe that's putting you in the driver's seat. Let your friends help you. Ask for, accept support. Ask for and accept support from others. Plus, I feel like who knows you better than your friends? So some of you may be meeting someone through your friends. All of a sudden I'm getting this vision of like a party, but I don't feel like it's a big party. It's like a dinner party. And I feel like there's a friend who invites someone and they have purpose with inviting this person, and that's to connect the two of you, but neither one of you know that. Now, I feel like it's just one situation, but I do feel that. So somehow I feel like a friend is going to, because I feel like the friend knows this person, and of course they know you, but I don't feel like you know this person. And I feel like there's going to be an introduction. Hi. Now, if that's how it happens, again, the energy is going to be very, well, off the charts. All right. But I feel like that's just one situation. So, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Interesting. You already met the romantic partner that you seek. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. That's what Temperance is doing here. She's helping to guide you. She's helping to bring this together. And I love that it says great love. And let's do one more because I feel like we're talking about different people. So I feel like there's one situation where, like a friend or an acquaintance, doesn't have to be like a friend, but an acquaintance. I feel like somehow the two lovers here in one situation are coming to the same place, and unbeknownst to them, someone has it in their mind that they want you to meet. And I feel like they're right. You are going to be great together. And then I feel like there's another situation where it is talking about potentially someone of the past. Now, it is not talking about any of this energy, I can tell you that, because this is talking about great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay? And flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. That's a playful type energy. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Flirt. Have fun with it. You know, it's telling you that it's great love. And okay, so I just want to take one more right over the lovers. You deserve love. You are lovable. Free yourself, and the rest will follow. It's time to take back control of your life. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Someone from your past is returning. It's interesting because I often relate this energy to past lives also. And because we are talking about soulmates, again, there will be a soulmate recognition. Like you'll recognize that. And then last but not least, hello, true love. Man, if we only knew that way back here, right? If we only knew that way back here. But here's the thing. I don't feel like you were meant to know it way back here because this was a personal, let's just say, I'm saying personal, but let's say a soul's lesson. And it really was probably about learning how to reclaim your life. You know, that's why the Ace of Pentacles was also in reverse because it wasn't the right time. But now, as we've moved forward and we've cleared the past, it doesn't mean I'm completely healed, though I do want to remind you how quickly those swords came out, like almost immediately. You may have felt this. You may have felt this. Divine may have allowed you to feel this. And you may have compared the energy you were feeling to the energy you were actually in. So this is your true love. Now, yes, we're meant to love people. We've all loved different people, but not all of them produce the same thing. But because we have the world, and it does signify the next chapter. And to me, it is an energy of whatever follows in the world's energy is energy I feel like sticks around for the rest of this lifetime, but probably beyond. This is a romance of a lifetime. My God, do you deserve it? Do you deserve it after what I feel you've been through? But this isn't because the universe doesn't like Leo. It's because the universe is saying Leo is the strong one. Leo is the one who can handle these lessons and grow from them, not be depleted. That could have been for a little while. But then I feel like then you do reclaim your life. You do reclaim your power. And I feel like everything else then just falls in place. Truly, I do. I feel like it just falls in place. I don't feel like I have to be out looking. I don't even have to say that I want love. I just need to be open to universal energy in whatever is meant to come my way. Sometimes I feel like that's the best way of saying it. Like, divine, I am open to whatever is meant to be for me. Some of you have soul contracts, and that contract is coming due. Now, let's look at the tower now. This is what I mean when I say the day will come when we look at these towers and we're going to be thankful for them. Because without this tower, without this end, without you closing the door, then it did feel, especially with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, like the Sun in reverse, it felt like it just couldn't come in at that time. It wasn't meant to come in at that time. But as you free yourself, well, you're freeing the energy of all that can be. Beautiful, Leo, beautiful. Now, I know not all of you are going to be able to see it like I see it, and I do want you to trust your own intuition, but make sure it's your intuition and not fear. You know what I mean? Like, really make sure it's your intuition. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Um, I feel like I took a lot of romance angels, but I have to tell you, I feel like because it's different situations for different people, but I feel like all of you, all of these situations are of true love because it's all coming from the lover's energy with the magician looking right at the lover. That's power. Not only that, then temperance, the one who's making sure the loving waters of the soulmates are equally filled. I also find it interesting that there were two difficult tens, and it felt like each had to use their sword accordingly. But it feels like you did. Excuse me, one second. Okay, I'm back. I wasn't gone that long. Sam, who was having horrible back pain, and a couple of you sent him Reiki, and I'm so grateful for that. But now he has like horrible pain, like in the front, like going into the groin. And he's had x-rays. No one can tell him what it is. So I'm going to research after your reading. But yeah, he came in and said he's just in so much pain. Ugh, I hate that. Like, I hate when you can't fix things but anyways, um, I don't want to take the glory away from this reading because it's quite powerful. That's really what it feels like, power. Um, just like this person down here is creating bad karma. I feel like you have created good karma, and now it's just all coming back to you just as it was meant to. And I feel like very good things. Like I feel you're going to be very abundant, especially if you trust within your abilities. Because again, I feel like a lot of the things you may be doing, I feel like you already possess those gifts. You already have those holes within you. Just trust in it. If you so choose. It's up to you. And then this love, I feel like it's just, first of all, I feel like it's just going to be unexpected. So that should take part of the worry away. I don't feel like this is far off, though I do say, I do feel you do have a lot to do with it, as does the other person, because both have to, I feel like, be willing to enter into this new chapter. And I don't feel like I'm entering it again because I'm seeking a certain love. Maybe some of you, with someone from your past could be returning. That could be what that Knight of Swords was. But however it happens, it again feels like it's just going to happen naturally. And that's the way it should happen anyway. And that's usually the way it does happen. We just forget about that. And, I want to say also where some people feel like, well, but, I'm in my home more than I don't go out and party and this and that. Well, I was in my home when Sam called me 40 years later. I was in my home. I wasn't out looking. I wasn't even thinking about him. It just happened. And now we live together. And I tell you that because just how I opened your reading, believe in the impossible. Because the impossible can very well become possible. All right, I'm gonna let that be, guys. Um, Phew, what a reading! What a reading! Like, I feel like this reading really took my energy, and I'm happy to give it because I feel like it's important. I do. I feel like it's important because why? Because I feel like your spiritual team wants you to be happy and they want to help you be happy. You know, don't wait for the hero. Be your own hero and watch what happens. This person coming in feels like you will be a new hero and you theirs. But until then, be your own hero. Because if there's anyone who can do it, it's you. All right. I love you guys. I thank you for the time that you allow me to do your readings. I know some love long readings, but I know some have a hard time watching to the end. Um, but yet I feel like, man, if you don't watch to the end, you really miss so much. But then again, the people I'm talking to probably already left. So I thank you for the ones who stick around and watch it to the end. I don't know. I feel like if you miss the end, well, I guess you'll have to wait for part two. Anyways, I love you guys. I thank you. I shall see you next time. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. Um, but I feel like I have to mention in your reading. I should have mentioned it in the beginning. So I've been telling you that I want to do a giveaway. Because I have a lot of companies that reach out to me to want me to promote products. I'm very choosy. I don't say yes to everyone because then I would just become like a shopping channel. And I don't want to do that to you. But I do say yes to things that I think that you would enjoy. Because I do plan on blessing you as I've been blessed. So what I've decided to do, for those who've been with me for a while, you'll probably remember a series I did where it was called Trust Your Intuition. And I would take 5 cards, like I would take 5 cards, and the middle card would be turned down. And then out of those, and of course I would shuffle and let them come out naturally. But out of those 5 cards, your comment would be, what is this hidden card? What do you think it is? I'm not looking for right or wrong answers, because again, it's about trusting your intuition. But then what I'm going to do is take all the comments and put them in like a bowl or a hat or something. And I'll do this where you can see me. Then I'll pull some names. I have some tarot decks that I want to gift. I have some jewelry. I'm even thinking about this watch. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Kind of falling in love with it. But I may. We'll see. But I do have some beautiful jewelry I want to gift. Um, I have I have some interesting things that I would love to gift to you guys. So keep your eyes and ears open for this. I am going to wait till I have all the readings done so everyone has a fair chance. And I do want to say, if you feel that you're not getting all my notifications, because I do have a lot of people say that, you want to make sure that that bell that's right next to subscribe is rung 100%. Or, in other words, it says all notifications. You can certainly readjust it afterwards if you so choose. Um, and I'm saying that for those who feel like you're not getting all of my notifications. And I know there's a lot who aren't. I know a lot who get like YouTube just unsubscribed you. I've had that happen to me numerous times. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why they do it. Matter of fact, YouTube and I got in a little bit of a fight not too long ago. Um, and I said, I feel like you need a union. I feel like you don't protect us creators. Well, you're in for the money, and I get it. You got to make money, right? You got to make your platform successful. But it is the creators that make the platform successful. So I feel like they need to protect us first and foremost. And of course, oh, that's what we do. Well, it's not what they do. Anyways, I don't know why I'm bitching about YouTube right now. But anyways, so I look forward to that because I definitely want to gift you. And the reason why I'm doing it where I'm going to put all the comments in like a bowl or something is because I don't want anyone to think, oh, she's just picking subscribers. You do have to be a subscriber though. That only seems fair. Um, Other than that, there's really no other stipulations. Just gonna pull a name. I'm gonna pull a few names. And I'm gonna continue to do this because I have more and more companies reaching out. I had a company reach out just the other day, and they do shapewear. I don't wear shapewear. Um, Not that I couldn't use it, and maybe I will if well, I said yes to this company, but the reason I said yes is because they said that they would give 10 and I could choose them. 10 of you, also a free pair. And I feel like you get to choose. And I'll do the same thing. I'll just pick out of a hat to keep it fair. But that's what I'm talking about. Like more and more companies are reaching out. Um, And when I say yes, I have you in mind. I just want you to know that. Anyways, I'm talking too much. I love you guys. I thank you. I will see you next time at our table. Bye bye.